this presentation, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land of which this presentation is conducted, which are the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung and the Bunurong Bunurong people of the Eastern Kulin Nation, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present, and future. The story that I'll be talking about today is the story of Sheila Humphreys, a Noongar elder that was taken from her mother twice by the authorities who thought that they knew best. She was taken to a Catholic orphanage and mainly grew up on New Notia Mission, the collective name for St. Mary's for boys and St. Joseph's for girls, run by Benedictine monks and nuns in Western Australia. Elder Sheila spoke about the cruelty and trauma that she and her sister experienced as children. She recounts the time where her sister was burnt due to an accident but never got to see a doctor. There was also the time where the children were forced to work in winter, wearing short-sleeved shirts and shorts, as well as many others. Listening to Elder Sheila's story made me reflect on my own childhood and recognize my privileges where I got to grow up healthy without needing to worry when my next meal was, or if my mother will take me to see a doctor when I'm sick. I recognize that I'm fortunate enough to grow up in a country where I do not have to worry about being taken away from my family because the authorities thought that they knew best. I felt so much empathy for Elder Sheila, especially as she spoke about the way that the nun mentioned the death of her mother, as if it was unimportant to her, and to simply carry on with her work, without giving her time to process and to grieve. My heart broke especially when she spoke about the time where she tried taking her own life as a child on multiple occasions because the life on the mission was so cruel to her. As an educator, I would never want my children to suffer as much as she did, to feel so alone and unheard. Rinaldi spoke about the pedagogy of listening, where to listen is to give meaning and value to the perspective of others, and that understanding brings us together, something that Elder Sheila never got. After hearing her story, I acknowledged the importance of active listening and how it's not just about listening, but also how you display your body language to the children, what message you are conveying to them as you listen. Jewel talks about how the Chinese has a symbol for listening that's described as I give you my ears to hear, my eyes to see, my undivided attention to focus, and my heart to feel. It is listening with the sole purpose of helping the other person feel heard and accepted. This strongly resonates with me, as oftentimes we as educators tend to take conversations and engagements with children for granted. This story of Elder Sheila helped me to focus on listening mindfully and to push to improve on my own pedagogical practices and ways of creating meaningful and respectful relationships with families and children alike.